So have any of you ever played a pickup hockey game, whether it was as a child or as an adult, and someone may have given you a cheap shot? You might want to retaliate, and maybe depending on the severity of the cheap shot, you might want to swing your stick at the person. You wouldn't do it, you would just think about it because that is insane. Who in their right mind would swing their stick at someone? Well, that actually happened. See, on this channel, I like to look up bizarre stories that have happened in professional sports, and this story came to my attention. But this story isn't just about this incident. It goes a little deeper, and this player shows glimpses of brilliance, controversy, and heartbreak, leaving an indelible mark on the sport's history. This is the story of Wayne Maki. Maki's career, however, did take a dark turn. On September 21st, 1969, during a preseason exhibition game between the Boston Bruins and St. Louis Blues at the Ottawa Civic Center, what transpired during that evening would forever change these two players' lives and lead to unprecedented legal consequences for on-ice violence. As Green turned away, presumably to head to the penalty box, Maki got back to his feet and retaliated with a devastating blow. Maki swung his stick with full force, with the heel of the blade striking Green on the right side of his head. Broadcasting legend Dan Kelly, who was calling the game, described it as one of the most horrifying, most violent exchanges I've ever seen in hockey. The impact was immediately evident. Green was rushed to Ottawa General Hospital with a depressed skull fracture, requiring emergency surgery. Even as he was being prepared for surgery, Green reportedly kept saying, "This is Maki's first and last year in the league." So just some thoughts about this after reading this. I don't know how Green survived. I'd be dead, because you got to remember that this time players were not wearing helmets. So this was just right at the skull, right at the he had a fractured skull. He suffered brain damage from the incident and was forced to miss the remainder of the 1969-70 season, including the playoffs run that the Bruins had that accumulated a Stanley Cup championship. Okay, as for legal and league consequences, the incident marked the first time NHL players faced criminal charges for on-ice violence. Both Maki and Green were charged with assault by Ottawa police. In the ensuing trials, both players were ultimately acquitted. The NHL also took disciplinary action, suspending Maki for 30 days and Green for 13 games. Both players were fined $100 for their match penalties and an additional $200 for stick swinging. He later became a coach, including a stint as head coach of the Edmonton Oilers from 1991 to 1994. And as for Maki, his career took a turn.